champion of the world, and now Muhammad Ali. The first one was when, as a youth of 18, in the Italian Sports Palace in Rome, Italy, 1960, as an almost frail-looking light heavyweight, he won the gold medal by beating a tough Polish southpaw named Ziggy Pietrzakowski. And then the almost weird chain of events on that February 25th, 1964, when still as Cassius Clay, age 22, he won the heavyweight championship of the world, destroying the myth of Sonny Liston. The next day, he became Muhammad Ali, and the rest you know about. The vicissitudes, the ups and downs, the 3.5 years of enforced idleness after the rejection of military induction, the vindication by the Supreme Court. Now we want to take you to the toughest fight of his life, and I think the greatest fight ever fought. It happened on October 1st, 1975. Manila, the Philippine Islands, the Thrila in Manila. We pick up with second round action, Ali against Frazier, third time around. Watch for the right lead. It became the dominant blow of the fight. Watch, it's about to come up. And there's a reason. There it is. And you saw Frazier's head snap back. Ali would use it again and again throughout the fight. It is a gambling blow against the right-handed fighter. It is an intensely destructive blow against a southpaw fighter. There you saw it again. But Ali knew something. He knew that in the very beginning of Joe Frazier's boxing life, as an amateur, that Joe was a southpaw. And he had developed a habit that lived with him throughout his boxing career. He converted to being a right-hander. Southpaws don't get fights easily in this country. Witness a fellow named Ronnie Harris. But Joe kept the tendency to keep the left hand low, leaving himself open for the right, a habit that a southpaw invariably has. That's why Ali would risk the right lead again and again and again against Joe Frazier and make it work. As you watch Joe, you'll see where he keeps the left. The right is up, the left is down. He comes almost from the belly with the left when he throws it. And a pulverizing left it has always been. But in the second round, Ali established his fight. Now, in the first 4 rounds, Ali would dominate. It became a war, a battle for survival. And it was in the 5th round, and that ended the second with that gesture of disdain. It was in the 5th round that Joe Frazier began to take over. Ali would be pinioned in his corner. Joe would be working to the stomach, the blows leveled to the kidneys. And you had to wonder how Ali could survive, how he could stay there. Yes, he tried the rope-a-dope. He would paw occasionally, hold behind the head, as you see, but he would not move. He would try to contain his strength. He would wave to Frazier in a braggadocio kind of way. Come ahead, come ahead. But it was acting. It was Ali acting. Because when a Joe Frazier hits you, as often as he hit Ali, in the belly and about the kidneys, it numbs you. You can't move the way you might want to move. And so throughout this 5th round, from midpoint on, it was Frazier. And in the ensuing rounds, it would be substantially Frazier. And they would get to the 10th round, which you will see in just a few seconds. And you will understand why after the 10th round, as he later explained his feelings, Ali would say it was the closest thing to death. And Joe Frazier would tell me, I hit him with blows that would have knocked walls down. But neither man went down. Not ever. 2 of the greatest fighters who have ever lived in a brutal war.
Excuse me, sir. I'd like you to try something.
Okay.
Hold out your hands.
Hey, what is that?
That's Track 2 shave cream, and that's another brand. Feel any difference?
The Track 2 feels heavier.
That's because the Track 2 is heavier. It's packed with moisturizers.
Moisturizers?
They help hold the moisture in your skin so your face feels good after you shave.
Right,
It'll
Shave?
feel soft and moisturized.
Great. Wait, what do I do now?
Shave?
Track 2, heavy with moisturizers.
Guilty. Not guilty. 6 votes guilty, 6 votes not guilty.
Father Kim.
It could go on all day. Bailiff! Pass out the Right Guard deodorant.
Good.
We got stick or spray. Right Guard deodorant has all-day odor protection. Kills bacteria that can cause odor. Stick or spray protects all day. 6 took stick. 6 took spray. It's unanimous.
Right Guard deodorant. Don't get dressed without it.
This is Jim McKay reporting live from Pebble Beach, California, and you're looking at Ray Floyd, the current leader in the 37th Bing Crosby National Pro-Am. Ray Floyd at 9 under par is on the 13th hole right now, and there are the others. Tom Watson, the defending champion, just 2 strokes behind. Then Gibby Gilbert, Ben Crenshaw, Hale Irwin, Don Bees, and a comeback story, Marty Fleckman. We'll be reporting live from here right after Wide World of Sports, 5 to 7 Eastern Time on the 3rd round of the Crosby. Now back to Howard Cosell.
This was about a minute into the 10th round, and you could sense the shifting of the tide. Where Frazier had pummeled Ali throughout the middle rounds to the kidneys and to the midsection, and Ali had refused to knuckle under, one had to realize all over again the hidden asset of Muhammad Ali. Hidden in the sense that it had rarely been written about as you watch the right score to the head again. The right lead that turned the fight for Ali. Because the fact never publicized in its entirety was that nobody could take a punch better than Muhammad Ali. And so here in the 10th round, having survived the best of Frazier, the worst for Ali, he showed an ability to come back. And yet, both men showed unmistakable fatigue in this round. They were wearing down. The swelling was growing around Frazier's eyes. The puffiness increasing around the cheeks. Somehow, puffiness hadn't yet registered in Ali's face. You would see it after the fight, clearly, sharply defined. But during the fight, no. Somehow, through all of his career, Ali seemed unknown. But here, again, pinioned against the ropes, you will see the difference between this round and the 5th round. Ali comes out from the ropes and scores heavily to the face, then covers up. And Frazier is not throwing the blows as swiftly and as many as he did in the 5th round. No, it is a different fight now. You can see it beginning to change. Maybe almost invisible if you were at ringside, but you could sense that it was happening. That Ali could now measure Frazier again and score with those blows to the face. And that Joe Frazier was wearing down, even as Ali seemed to have in the earlier rounds. And coming to the end of this round, you will see the total exhaustion there in Ali. This was what he called the closest thing to death.
Company! Dismiss!
Well, the training's rough, you know, the sergeant's tough. Now it's all behind, got blue ribbon on my mind. I've got Pabst blue ribbon on my mind. More and more lately I find I've got a taste for living. I'm thinking cold blue ribbon. I've got Pabst blue ribbon on my mind.
Naturally good Pabst. A lot to look forward to.
Ford introduces Futura, a dramatic combination of styling and technology for 1978 and beyond. Futura, designed by computer modeling and aerodynamic testing. It can provide excellent fuel economy and room for 5 passengers as well. Futura, designed for 1978 and beyond. Realistically priced for today. See your Ford dealer for a personal test drive.
Next Saturday on ABC's Wide World of Sports, Alfredo Escalera puts his lightweight crown on the line against his toughest opponent, the legendary Alexis Arguello, the former featherweight title holder, unbeaten as champion with 55 victories, 45 of them knockouts. And Franz Plummer in the World Alpine Skiing Championships, which begins the countdown to the 1980 American Olympics at Lake Placid. And the Hialeah Invitational Horse Race, all next Saturday on ABC.
By the start of the 13th round, it was anybody's fight. Both fighters seemed utterly exhausted. But in the 13th, suddenly, out of nowhere, Ali drew upon some apparently inexhaustible resource. And he was moving on his toes. And clearly it had a tremendous psychological impact upon a tired Joe Frazier. And Ali was able to score repeatedly, as you see right here, with the quick blows to the head. It didn't seem possible, after the beating he had taken in the middle rounds, that he could come back this way. But he did, and in its own way, that's another mark of his greatness through all he is as a champion. Look at him, on the toes, dancing, waiting for Frazier, covering up well, and Joe clearly not with the snap in his punches. The arms almost listed, and it was a Frazier running downhill. Now watch. There! That quick right, and the mouthpiece went out of the ring itself, followed by another right, and all those blows in combination, consecutively, to the Frazier head. And now, Muhammad Ali had taken complete control of the fight. One couldn't possibly guess that this would have happened. And he lay there over the ropes at the end of the 10th round, and later stood there and told everyone that it was indeed the closest thing to death. What you just saw was another cascade of blows upon the Frazier head. And now it didn't seem possible that Joe could keep fighting, but he kept coming on. And the fatal Frazier mistake. Too often, the same mistake he made against George Foreman, when twice he was blistered by George. Keep coming in. Now, there, you saw Frazier stagger, clearly terribly hurt, but no, the will not permitting him to go down. Ali falling backwards, the head through the ropes, but not from a blow. And now, Ali quickly working to the head again. This is when you wonder about boxing and worry about the punishment that a fighter takes, especially to the head, and the future damage it can cause to the whole of his life. But somehow, Joe Frazier came out of it fine, and today sings and dances and even talks of a comeback. One hopes not. But there in the 13th round, the mouthpiece went, still struggling to survive. But Ali just hit him again and again. That's the end of the 13th. Now, the mouthpiece blow. Watch. The right, and there went the mouthpiece. From then on, it was all downhill for Joe Frazier. The 14th round coming up.
Excuse me, sir. What's going to help that beautiful car last?
Quaker State Motor Oil.
If you like our motor oil, you'll love our oil filter. Hey there, what helps more cars avoid expensive engine repairs?
Quaker State.
If you like our motor oil, you'll love our oil filter. Pardon me, friend, what's America's best-selling motor oil? Quaker State. If you like our motor oil, you'll love our oil filter.
It's your face, that chick. Love it. It's your face, that chick. Love it. It's your face, that chick. Love it.
Push, pull, click, click. The Schick Injector System loves your face this quick. Push, pull, click, click, and you lock a Teflon-coated blade into place for a really smooth, close shave.
It's your face, that chick. Love it.
Schick Injector System, regular or twin blades.
Frank Gepper back in our ABC studios in New York. We have an NBA score for you. The New York Knickerbockers have handed Denver only a second home loss of the season today 143-141 in overtime. The Knicks needed a game-tying shot by Jim McMillan at the buzzer in regulation time to make it all possible. Bob McAdoo had 39 for New York, while David Thompson had 37 and Dan Issel 36 for Denver. Denver had won 19 straight at home. Moving to tennis, Cliff Drysdale has defeated Tom Gorman 7-6, 6-4 to win the National Indoor Tennis Championship in Baltimore. Let's go back to Howard Cosell.
We pick up with action in the 14th round. Almost incredible, the fights between these two. 3 times around. Who can measure the punishment each has administered to the other? And yet there is Ali, still dancing. And there is Frazier, still trying to come on, but taking those blows to the head. And now it's Joe Frazier who's holding on, because he is struggling. He took a tremendous beating in the 13th round, the loss of the mouthpiece, and then the succession of blows to the head. Now in the 14th round, it's more of same. And Ali somehow still punching sharply, crisply. Where, by way of contrast, Frazier's blows are now without crispness, without pace, without snap. And there, again, the punishment to the head. And Frazier's hands are at his side. There's a minute to go in this, the 14th round, and look at that. It's not the kind of thing you like to see. And yet the man won't go down. You wish for his sake somehow the official would stop it. But no. The fight had been too even going into the 13th round. And Ali here is strong at will. And he knows it. And somehow within a great fighter, there is the sense of knowing. Knowing when you're in charge. And knowing how to stay in charge. How not to leave yourself open. Capacities that Ali has always had. And now he senses the threat. But he's holding on. The blood is coming out of Frazier's mouth, as you will see clearly in the tight shot in just a few seconds. And Ali is polishing off his opponent. Professionally, the way one of the great champions of all time can do it. And against one of the greatest champions of all time. Now look at Ali, sitting there, himself used up, exhausted. But now let's go to Joe Frazier's corner. You can see Frazier, how beaten up the face is. He wants to go on, the smelling salts. And you will see that blood come out of the mouth. Leaning over, now turning back, Eddie Futch, his manager. And this you'll like to see. He has just told the referee that it's over, that Joe cannot come out. And barely able to stand, Ali gets up, raises the right hand aloft. He is the winner and still the heavyweight champion of the world. But for anybody who's ever followed boxing, and look how exhausted Ali is there, Joe Frazier will forever be a champion of the world. And that's the way it was on October 1st, Manila, the Philippine Islands.